back in it again? I don't. I think the Mets will get in. But it is fascinating that they'll play the Marlins here the last 3 games of the season. And I know without a doubt that the Marlins are going to line up Sandy Alcantara, Yuri Perez, and top guys to try and beat the Mets.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
It is the biggest story in sports. It is the ability to predict outcomes in sports without calling it sports betting. But I guess Massachusetts doesn't like it very much, and they're saying basically you can't operate in our market without having a license like FanDuel and DraftKings, and they're coming at this company, Robinhood, who you may be familiar with. Robinhood right now says, hey, we should be able to operate just like these other companies.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
He says, you can't get in a position, Tiger, Rory, Justin Thomas, those guys are this tall. You're never gonna be as flexible as them. You got a lot more leverage and like you got a lot of more moving parts than those dudes.
The Smiley Show, only on SportsGrid.
I like the shadows coming in, Neyland Stadium. Show me those 3:30. Back in the day,
we played all our games on Saturdays. Maybe one or 2 games on a Friday night away. I always loved that. Same thing in college. Hated Friday night football games in college.
I understand why they do it prime time and we have to play. But going back to when we grew up, Keith Jackson.
Yeah.
Action.
Throw another pancake on that plate. Yeah,
That's
let's go,
it.
Keith Jackson. That's my guy here.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
And welcome in. It is in-game live game day on a fabulous football Friday. We actually got some football today with a couple of, halfway decent, not crazy, but a couple of halfway decent college football games to get to. A little CFL action. How about our MLB showdown in Houston tonight, where the winner of the series will really take a leg up on winning the division. We got a winner-take-all WNBA Game 3 showdown going on as well. And then we got our usual 5 on the line, Black Cloud, which might be the absolute lock of the century. I just love tonight's Black Cloud. And, of course, our SGP. What's going on, Gabe and Gabe Morency for the next 2 here on the grid? What's going on, Gabe? How are you?
Yeah, a lot going on tonight on this Friday night. Clayton Kershaw's last regular season home start, although he's got more baseball left in him for the remainder of the year. Rutgers and Iowa getting ready to kick off a big Big Ten matchup. Rutgers' schedule gets a lot tougher from here on out. So this is sort of a fork in the road game for the Rutgers program. They're 0-4 since they've moved to the Big Ten against Iowa. They kind of are Iowa, except, they want to emulate what Iowa does and sort of be the same type of program. But I tell you what, Iowa have the same offensive issues that they've had in past years. And this Rutgers team, 3-0 to the over this year, 2 of the 3 games with Rutgers, they have scored enough points on their own, more than the total. So we're going to find out if their offense is for real tonight. They're without one of their starting wide receivers. They're without one of their tackles. Rutgers are a little bit injured coming into this game, but no excuses. Next man up in college. They've got their quarterback, and like I said, they're missing a couple of guys, but Iowa are really offensively challenged, and I think Rutgers is going to pull off a small upset, Scott. They're only getting 2 points, so it's not some massive upset if they win the football game, and I will say it's somewhat of an upset to take it over in an Iowa game, but that's what I'm doing. So Give me Rutgers plus the 2, and let's go over the 46 in this game, because, look, we saw MAC teams, Miami, Ohio. Ohio scored like 31 against them. Miami, Ohio put up, 17 or so. Norfolk didn't score very much, but I think Iowa, if Iowa can't get on track today, Scott, offensively against this Rutgers defense, I really would be worried about the offense if I was an Iowa fan. But it should be a fun football game in Piscataway. They're fired up. This is like their national championship game. They're not on national TV standalone games often.
Yeah, no, they're not. I tell you, Iowa numbers, Gabe, were so low last year the over-unders, meaning that they're actually 11-5 over their last 16 games.
They started going overs. Yeah.
Yeah, great. Because they were posting them like 30.
It's like last night, dude.
Yeah.
And even like last night with the Rice game, it's like no one wants to take the over. Like, oh, they run the option. They're bad. Charlotte's bad. The mid-40s, it doesn't take much in a college football game. Yeah, like it should. Like tonight, it's tonight's 46.5, so it's real. So I took the total could scare some people. And it doesn't really make sense, Scott, to say, this is the year that Rutgers is going to do it, but their offense is good. Like, Rutgers, I think, will be able to score. Let's see if Iowa can put points up on the board here. So who are you taking in Rutgers, Iowa? They're going crazy right now, ready for kickoff there.
Yeah, this reminds me. I took listen. I'm a Jersey guy. Sister went to Rutgers, so I took Rutgers. This reminds me of Greg Schiano Part 1 at Rutgers. If you remember, they had the great year, the Ray Rice year, and they had Louisville coming in. I'm pretty sure it was a Friday night game as well. It was a midweek game. It was on the 4-letter network, and then they won that game. And this game gives them the opportunity to probably have their biggest win, realistically in the Big Ten. Believe it or not. I mean, they've beaten, the Indianas of the world or the Minnesotas of the world, but they haven't beaten any of the big boys. They don't beat Penn State. They don't beat Rutgers, or they don't beat Ohio State or Michigan. So this is like the next step up for Rutgers. They're getting only 1.5 on FanDuel. I do like them, though. I think they come through, and I actually think they get the win.
Yeah, they've had this circled all off season. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start the season 3-0, be 4-0, and catapult ourselves on national television by beating Iowa, right, and going 4-0. Like you said, they're 0-4, so this is a test for them. We've just kicked off right now. Iowa get the football first, and oh boy. Oh,
don't tell me they returned the kickback already. Oh, jeez.
Touchdown, Iowa. They return the opening kickoff for a touchdown.
Oh, my
They return
goodness.
the opening kickoff for a touchdown. You like my play-by-play? Oh, boy.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Dude, I never seen a white guy run that fast.
Oh, my goodness. That is the worst thing that you could possibly ask for.
Right, yeah, they're showing the Rutgers fans now. They're all like, welcome to being a Jersey sport fan. It's like a Jenner Giant fan. It's like, well, there's the hope. They're all hyped up. Iowa down the side. Thing is, he ran right down the sideline, too. It's like, where was everybody? Not one of you could have pushed him out of bounds? Like, come on, man.
Gee. Between the Giants and Jets are like 3-36 or 3-33, something goofy like that in prime time at night. Now you can throw Rutgers into that equation as well. So
if you bet against the Giants, Jets, and Rutgers solely for the last 15 years, you're a very rich man.
You're rich. You are a rich man. You are.
Very, very rich man. I saw things, Scott, like the Giants or Jets were like a combined 4-28 in their last 32 home games or something. Like, it's bad. Like, nobody wins. But we're just talking about the total, though, of this football game. So we're off and running with the total.
Right.
In-game total currently. They just froze it right now with a 7-0. Let me pop it up. Let's see what we got here. But so yeah, we're off and running with another total in a Rutgers game. Let's see if Rutgers can respond.
Yeah, Giants and Jets are combined 4-33 at night since 2019, with the Giants being 2-19.
4 wins. So 54.5 is the new total in this game. 54.5.
Rutgers was shut out last year, 22-0. But I think their offense is a little bit better this year, and I think we're going to get some points. So hopefully you hopped on that 46.5 because they bumped it up a little bit there. A full touchdown plus, believe it or not. All right, let's throw out our 5 on the line. 5 best trends for the games that have yet to get underway tonight here on the Grid. All right, we'll start with the WNBA. How about the Liberty and Phoenix? Mercury squaring off tonight. The big under game here. New York 9-1 under their last 10. Phoenix 9-2 under their last 12, including their last game. So under 155.5 to trend play New York at Phoenix. Baseball for the next 4. Dodgers 11-2, last 13 at home as they take on San Francisco. So against San Francisco, rather. So Dodgers tonight minus the 175 or so against the Giants. Play number 3, Colorado coming down the home stretch here, boys. They still need one more win to break the tie for the worst record. They're 3-18 their last 21 games. Let's grab the Angels at -120 at Colorado. Play number 2 as we go from 5-1. How about Seattle? 11-1 their last 12 games. Seattle pick them tonight, trend-wise, at Houston. Why would 11-1 not be the number 1 overall trend? Because coup de grace numero uno, number 1 trend, the Cleveland Guardians are 12-1 their last 13 games. So give us Cleveland, pick them against the Minnesota Twinkies. Our 5 on the line. Under New York Phoenix, Dodgers, LA Angels -120 against Colorado, Seattle pick them against Houston, and the Cleveland Guardians pick them against the Minnesota Twins. 5 on the line. We are 65 games over 500 if you played every single play, believe it or not. So not too bad. All right, we got our SGP coming up here in a little bit. We got our Black Cloud coming up. We got Paul Stone Sports joining us. Do some football talk with him and our good buddy Cam Stewart as well. Just underway in Game Live.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
I needed a mental break when the season was over. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. You get tired of training. But, man, I never get tired of playing golf. I love it. I mean, every course is different. Every day is different. And some days you're like, oh, I got this. I got it. Then you go out there and shoot a 95 the next day. I'm like, damn.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
I mean, I think so. You talk about how difficult it is to bring an expansion team into the league and have success in your first season. Like, that's fairly unheard of. And not only have success, but they're in the playoffs. So I think she certainly deserves to win Coach of the Year. There's a lot of different candidates that could potentially, you could make a case for them. But I think just with this being an expansion team and how difficult that is.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
It was nice to see that even though they couldn't follow the same blueprint as last season or just the way that everyone thought their offense was going to run this year, Josh Jacobs struggled and Jordan Love stepped up. And if you're a Packer fan, that's what you were hoping to see, is that in the moments where you can't rely on the run, can the quarterback that you invested a lot of money into, now draft capital, putting weapons around him, rise to the occasion, and he did.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
And welcome back. It is in-game live game day here on the grid. Hour number 1 just getting underway. Scott and Gabe until 10 p.m. Eastern time. So just like that, Rutgers goes down the field in what, 5 plays, Gabe? 5-6 plays tops, right? And puts it into the end zone, and we are tied 7-7. An over-under that had like written all over, right? 46.5. Who's going over on a 46.5 in an Iowa game? And they got 14 points less than 3 minutes into the game. And then now it's up to 59.5. Didn't go up that much, actually, with this latest touchdown because it was 56.5 before. But, Rutgers, was driving so quickly on that. So, so back to the original number. Basically, Iowa laying 2.5 and over-under is 59.5. Nice job by the Rutgers offense.
Anytime you take an over in an Iowa game, there's going to be concerns. I was all over the under in Iowa State and Iowa earlier this year, but I like the over tonight because I know I follow Rutgers closely. We've got their season win total to the over. So this is a massive game for Rutgers for that. They're at 5.5. If they get off to a 4-0 start, they just got to squeeze out three more wins this year, and their schedule is tough moving forward. But it's a good sign if you bet the over in an Iowa game and you got 14 points and Iowa's offense hasn't even touched the football yet, right? They scored with the opening kickoff. Rutgers responded with a quick drive. They dumped the ball off a couple of times. They threw a bomb, and then they ran it in. Like, they caught it at the 5, and then they ran it in, like, easily on first down. So, yeah, Rutgers have to feel confident right now about their offense. We'll see what their defense can do, what Iowa's offense can do. Because that's why I liked Rutgers in this game, Scott. I really do believe that the Rutgers offense is going to put pressure on Iowa's offense to actually score. I don't think they're going to hold Rutgers. They're not going to be able to win 22-0 tonight or 14-7 or something like that. Say what you will about Rutgers, but this quarterback can play. He's one of these deals, Scott, where he's just developed over the years. He's played a lot of college football. Right? He played with the Minnesota Golden Gophers. They hand the football off a lot. People were kind of underwhelmed when he transferred to Rutgers, but he's a senior right now. He's in his 4th year, and the kid is balling.
Yeah. Got one other game. That's Tulsa and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State, which was just like, man, you talk about the wheels falling off. I'll give you the score and the details first, but it's Tulsa 10-3. They just finished up the first quarter. Tulsa's now a favorite, 1.5. Over-under is 54.5. The ugly numbers for Oklahoma State. First of all, they've beaten Tulsa 14 of the last 15, including 10 in a row, including 23 straight at home. Their last home loss to Tulsa, two teams in Oklahoma here, so it's a bit of a rivalry, back in 1951. Tulsa's 2-8 straight up, 3-7 against the spread their last 10 games, including 1-2 this year. I mean, if Oklahoma State can't beat Tulsa, my goodness. But I will tell you, Oklahoma State 1-9 straight up, 6-4 against the spread, 1-9 straight up and against the spread, Gabe. And then they're just playing lousy football. The wheels. I like Mike Gundy. You know what? I like characters and personalities, whether it was him, Mike Leach, right? So I kind of root for them from that standpoint. But man, this team, just a couple of years ago, they were challenging for the Big 12 championship. They were brutal last year, and they don't look like they're going to be very much better this year, coming up their worst loss in almost 100 years with that 69-3 loss to Oregon last week.
Gundy is the second choice right now on the board at most sports books to be the next coach fired. People expect Billy Napier and the Florida Gator coach to be the next college coach fired. We talked about it earlier in the week. The thing with Gundy is he's kind of the face of the program. He has been. He's been there for so long. There's no secret that this is it. Like, this is going to be the final year for him. But I don't think they want to humiliate him, per se, and fire him mid-season. But if they lose to Tulsa, they might, they might say, you know what, you should just resign on your own before we fire you. Like, why don't you step aside type of deal? Work out a severance with them, because this will be embarrassing. It's still early right now. They struggled against Tennessee Martin in week 1. They did win the game. They didn't cover. It was like 27-7, but they didn't look good. It was close, like in the third quarter type of deal. They ran their mouths for whatever reason before the Duck game and set themselves up, which was really, really stupid of Gundy to do. He really put his kids in a bad spot. They got lit up there. So, yeah, this will be a bad look. I was thinking about it sort of like with McDaniel last night. They're not going to fire him after last night, and there's all the reports. Stephen Ross likes him. The team hasn't quit, and let's give him a chance and stuff. But I was thinking about, Scott, if they lose to the New York Jets next week and are 0-4, McDaniel could get fired. And I think, I imagine the administration are on the phone right now, like, wondering, like, what do we do if we lose to Tulsa tonight? Because the Oklahoma State fan base, I mean, it's just going to be a lost season. They're going to fall behind in recruiting and everything, but I think Oklahoma State will still come back and win the game.
Yeah, so do I. I would grab them plus you get them 2.5 points at plus 102 or money line 122. You know, it's not that big a difference. I just assume
this is the last game they can win, Scott. That's why I like them tonight. Actually, they're not going to win anymore. Like this is their last. Like what's their schedule? Like this is their last non-conference game, right? Like so, this is it. They get Tulsa, who they always beat. You went over the numbers. They own them. They play Baylor next week. Then they go to Arizona. They host Houston. Okay, Cincinnati, maybe. They go to Texas Tech. They go to Kansas. They host Kansas State. They go to UCF. And then they finish with Iowa State. Like, this football team might, like, win one more game this year, Scott, if they're lucky type of deal. Like, maybe two. You know what I mean?
That's what we talked about, like the Big 12. They might not have an Ohio State or Penn State or whatever, but from top to bottom, I mean, there is
you don't get a lot of weeks off.
Game. Yeah, there's just no weeks off in that conference. I mean, and you'd even mentioned BYU they could be playing. I mean, West Virginia comes up with a big win.
They dodge Utah. They're lucky they don't play Utah. Yeah.
I mean, from top to bottom, that conference is just low. There's no automatic W's. You're right. They could go winless after tonight, believe it or not. I like teams, betting on teams that get shellacked like they did, was last week or 2 weeks ago, whatever it was, 69-3. That's a perfect bounce back spot.
And they know the coach is on the hot seat. If they care at all, this is the effort night tonight, right? It's like we can't lose to Tulsa.
Yeah. So I'll grab Tulsa. I'll take them plus the now you're getting 3.5. Wow. All right, I'll take them plus the 3.5 and minus 104. I see Tulsa with second and fourth, their own 19-yard line. Not sure why it would be 3.5, but I'll take it just the same. All right, in-game live with SPP coming up next.
Look at the weather, try to look for some anytime touchdowns or maybe some props that you really feel confident about. But it's always the time for urgency, especially for a team like the New York Giants. I think that defense is something that can give Giants fans hope. And then if you get Dart under center, it's hope. And then if you can get Scatterboo out there and the whole building's going boo, it's hope. And as we know, hope works.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the Super Bowl market, if you're in the futures market, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is heavily connected to the Kansas City Chiefs. I am sure it would be Tyreek's first place if he could pick to go back to. At least I would think it would be. And the Chiefs have a need, and the Chiefs are interested, and they're not worried about any of his other question marks.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
They had clearly in hand at the end, especially in the second half, and yet somehow they managed a shank of a 60-yard field goal, and a flag comes in with no time left on it for a penalty. Do you want to know how many times that penalty of leverage was called all last season? Want to take a guess?
How many?
4.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Busy night. We got college football. We got our college football opposite picks. We got a full slate of baseball. Games just getting underway. We'll get to that. We got Cam Stewart. We got Paul Stone Sports. And we have our SGP same game parlay. All right, we're going to use the WNBA win or else game 3, deciding game 3 that tips off in about 35 minutes or so. Phoenix versus New York. Phoenix at home. I was on the Mercury to start the series, so why not hop on them again now? They're laying only 2.5 at home, so give me Phoenix minus the 2.5. They demolished New York. Don't like betting against teams that played as poorly as New York did because, again, they're in the bounce back spot, but I just think Phoenix is the better team. We're going to go under 155.5 New York, Phoenix. We gave you the numbers before. Phoenix had a 9-2 under run. New York had a 9-1 under run. I imagine Breanna Stewart will play, but how effective she's really going to be, I doubt very, since she could barely walk in the last game. So let's go under 155.5, and then we'll kind of discount Alyssa Thomas, who's that away from a triple-double every single night. We won't go 10 rebounds. We'll drop it to 8. Won't go 10 assists. We'll drop it to 6, and then we will do the 10 points. But she averages well over that. So those are all discounted rates. And then the one that's going to bump it up is I will use Sabrina Ionescu for 15-plus points. Listen, without Breanna Stewart being really effective, even if she does play, it's up to Ionescu to really step up for New York. Deciding game, I'd be surprised. I really would if she didn't get 15 points. So it's a pretty good parlay. It pays 8.5 to 1. I don't think we get to 156 points, Gabe. Really, to me, it's just Thomas is going to get those numbers. They're discounted enough. Really, it's to me whether Phoenix wins the game, laying 2.5 on this parlay.
I don't play a lot of unders, and we've lost on a couple of overs this week in the WNBA. But here we have an elimination game. You've got a total of 155.5, and the numbers speak for themselves in this series. Right? They got to 146 in the last game. They got to 145 in game 1, and they went to overtime. The last game that they played in the regular season, they got to 143. At this point, I mean, shame on you, like shame on me type of deal, right? It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, guys, they played 3 times here, and they always get to the same thing, mid-140s, right? And now you have a star player, and Stewart is banged up. You have an elimination game. These girls are going at it hard. It's a super competitive and feisty series as far as like smack talk on the floor, and like Phoenix are really getting in New York's face. And you went over the numbers. We talked about the Liberty. They're stumbling down the stretch, 3-7 against the spread their last 10, 9-1 to the under in their last 10. The Mercury are on an 8-2 under run right now, including these series. Both games have gone under in the series. I'm going to play the Phoenix Mercury to win the game, Scott, but we've seen these WNBA games, man. I'm not laying the 3. I'll take my chances with the money line. I'll lay the 55 cents because they really could be a 1-point game, 2-point game, and it wouldn't shock me. I'm going to play the under. And let's go with Sabally over 5.5 rebounds. Satu Sabally, man, she's been lighting it up on the glass. She got 15 rebounds in the series. It's 5.5 tonight, Scott, and she had 8 in game 1. She had 7 in game 2. New York are not a very good rebounding team. Breanna Stewart's got a bad knee. The other Messiman girl, she should get more rebounds for how big she is, but look at her prop. She's only 4.5 tonight. Look for Sabally to own the glass tonight again. I'm going to go over 5.5.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they're giving us Stewart numbers. Now they're discounted. They are. You see Breanna Stewart over-under point total game is 13.5, and you're like, wow, 13.5 in the deciding game. Where do I sign on that? But she was just so bad.
Yeah, she can barely walk.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I say I'm surprised that, even though it is less and it's tough to go under on that, but unless she made a miraculous recovery over the last 2 days flying out to Phoenix, no less, I don't think she's getting 14 points tonight. I really don't.
No, I would agree with you. I would agree. They're going to – listen, I think if you're Phoenix, the first quarter is so important to this game, Scott, the first 5-7 minutes. Like, if you're the Phoenix Mercury, you really want to just bury the New York Liberty early here. Break their will like you did the other game. And, it was dangerous that New York gave Phoenix that type of confidence going back home right now. But it's been so unpredictable, I almost give up trying to handicap what's going to happen in this stuff. Look at last night, man. Seattle nearly beat Vegas.
Crazy. Yeah.
Like Asia Wilson scored, Scott, you believe that? She scored 38 points of the 74 that Las Vegas scored. She scored 50% of their points.
Yeah.
Look at this. Rutgers moving the ball, guys.
I see that. Look at this. Oh, I thought it was a catch. Yeah, and they still only won by 1. If you would have told them beforehand Wilson would have nearly 40, you'd think you won by
38 points.
Yeah. 1 point, 74-73. Amazing. All right, Paul Stone Sports will join us next here on The Grid.
look at the weather, try to look for some anytime touchdowns or maybe some props that you really feel confident about. But it's always the time for urgency, especially for a team like the New York Giants. I think that defense is something that can give Giants fans hope. And then if you get Dart under center, it's hope. And then if you can get Scatterboo out there and the whole building's going boo, it's hope. And as we know, hope works.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
If you're in the Super Bowl market, if you're in the futures market, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is heavily connected to the Kansas City Chiefs. I am sure it would be Tyreek's first place if he could pick to go back to. At least I would think it would be. And the Chiefs have a need, and the Chiefs are interested, and they're not worried about any of his other question marks.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
They had clearly in hand at the end, especially in the second half, and yet somehow they managed a shank of a 60-yard field goal, and a flag comes in with no time left on it for a penalty. Do you want to know how many times that penalty of leverage was called all last season? Want to take a guess?
How many?
4.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live game day here on the grid, midway through hour number 1. We got some college football, a little baseball, a little WNBA we'll keep an eye on. But college football, while we were away, Rutgers scores again. How about that? Spotting Iowa 7-0 lead as they return the opening kickoff back for a touchdown. Rutgers responds, they get a touchdown, and they get the ball back, and they score another touchdown. So they're now leading 14-7. They're now laying 5.5, over-under. Listen, when it's that high, you got to score some points. So even when you do, it doesn't really bump up. But I will say 21 points, and it's still 59.5. Interesting. Let's talk a little college football with our main guy, Mr. Paul Stone from Paul Stone Sports. What's going on, Paul? How are you tonight, bud?
Oh, man, doing well, Scott. Just looking forward to week 4 of college football. Got a great card tomorrow.
Let's start with tonight. If you got anything on Rutgers and Iowa, and if not, just what are your impressions so far of the game?
Yeah, I tell you, I've actually got Iowa -2, and then I played at Circa this past Sunday, got Tulsa +14, so probably the only one with that number. So right now I'm kind of splitting things, but man, Rutgers, we were talking about it off air. They've got over 100 yards total offense. Iowa in the negative yardage, scored on the return. Rutgers leads 14-7. Scarlet Knights might be headed to a 4-0 start. Obviously played a pretty weak non-conference schedule, but nice to see Rutgers playing well. And they might, they're not going to win the Big Ten, but they might play a factor in who ultimately does.
You're feeding the crowd too, right? Iowa could have, if Iowa returns the opening kickoff for a touchdown, it really took the life out of the building early. But boom, Rutgers scored so quickly. Rutgers scores again. They get the stop. It's a big drive here for Iowa. If they can't get this thing going, the stadium's really going to start rocking. And Iowa's got a lot of confidence right now. But yeah, Tulsa beating. Did you think that Tulsa had a shot of winning this game outright tonight, Paul? Or are you just thinking plus the points? Because I don't think they want to fire Gundy midseason. I think they're going to politely ask him to go. You know what I mean? And they'll start over next year. But losing to Tulsa would be a bad look for them. I'll tell you that.
No question about it, Gabe. But I will say, Mike Gundy's just a byproduct of today's college football. Mike Gundy didn't forget how to coach. He just doesn't have the NIL resources to compete. I mean, they're just, I played Oklahoma State under 5.5 regular season wins. I think Tulsa's got a chance. Thought going in, Tulsa had a chance to win the game. I actually have a money line parlay, which I rarely do, a 3-team underdog money line parlay.
Now you're talking our language.
I've got Tulsa.
Who are the other two?
I've got a 3-team Tulsa tonight. I've got North Carolina against Central Florida tomorrow. Then I've got Hawaii against Fresno State as a home dog in the nightcap. So that'd be something if I won one of those, but doesn't happen very
you really
often.
Spread it
I
out.
probably won't.
All the way into the bailout special game tomorrow night. You got a nice 24-hour parlay going here.
Absolutely.
I mean, in my world, I wouldn't be able to bet with that because I like to have each bet end up being like next to each other. So, all right, so you got TCU. So give me your thoughts. The Iron Skillet, kind of a weird situation. I used this game in my opposite picks, right? The Iron Skillet rivalry began in 1922. The story is, anyway, that TCU doesn't want to do it anymore, which is weird because Sonny Dykes, their head coach, used to be at SMU. So you would think if anyone would want to continue that rivalry and all the pamphlet with all the stuff going on, it would be him, but not the case. So TCU laying, 6.5 against SMU.
Yeah, again, this is just a sad case of what college football has become. We've got a 12-team playoff now. TCU is a team that can, contend on the fringe. They could certainly win the Big 12, but could also be in contention for some of those that large bursts in some years. But the Big 12, they play a 9-game conference schedule. Sonny Dykes has said we already have our Power 4 non-conference opponents filled up. We don't want to play any more tough opponents. So we're gone. And I hate it. I think TCU, it's not what it's about. These kids like to compete. And to just give up on a rivalry, these schools, 35 miles away, connected by Interstate 30, they have so many commonalities. Used to play in the Southwest Conference.
But you see it, right, Paul and Scott? It's sort of like USC and Notre Dame, which would almost be unheard of, right? That they wouldn't play each other. USC are basically saying now, you know what? We're in the Big Ten. Like, this is already hard enough as it is. And you can see their side of things, Scott, there. If you're in the Big Ten, you're playing the Big Ten schedule. Why do you want to play Notre Dame? You're helping Notre Dame. If Notre Dame's got to suck it up and join a conference, like I'm tired of teams like, we owe Notre Dame something because of tradition. I get it in state stuff, but when you're 3,000 miles away, like I don't blame USC for that. That's just my quick take.
But what I would tell you, Paul and Gabe, is that now that 12 teams get in, and it's not life and death every single week, you could get in with certainly one loss. Hell, you could get in with 2 losses. That it's like, okay, let's play the
but there's a bunch of teams with 2 losses.
Yeah, I would say USC and Notre Dame, they've got a little bit of a wiggle room. TCU doesn't have as much wiggle room, to make the 12-team playoff.
Yeah, exactly.
They're not going to be contending for conference championships every year. But I think it's about competition. I mean, what is athletics? It's competition. Either compete or get out of the way. Give the people what they want. Give the athletes what they want. If you ask your players, would you rather play, if you're TCU, would you rather play SMU or do you want to play East Texas A&M down there in Commerce, an FCS school? They'd rather play SMU, but they're going to be denied
the coach who they'd rather play, or the AD who they'd rather play. They'd rather play East Texas A&M. So
absolutely,
right. Give me the win. All right. Well, one pretty good game tomorrow. How about Arkansas laying the 7.5 at Memphis? Not an easy place to play. This will be Memphis's championship. Arkansas maybe a little bit of a letdown. What are we doing here? Who do you see in this one?
You mentioned the letdown, Scott. I mean, there are sandwich spots, and then there are sandwich spots, and this is just a huge one. You've got an Arkansas team coming off their SEC opener, lost at Ole Miss this past weekend, 41-35, and they just happen to have Notre Dame on deck in Fayetteville, does Arkansas. First time ever those schools have met, but they've got to travel to Memphis first. Brendan Lewis, the transfer quarterback from Nevada, doing good things at Memphis. The Tigers 3-0. Untested to this point, but I like them getting the points at home. I like Memphis plus 7.5.
Love it. I'm on it as well. Like you said, Scott, this is a big game for them for the playoffs. This is their only this is their non-conference game. So if you're Memphis, you got to win this game, get that feather in your cap, and you got a puncher's chance at the playoffs.
Yeah. How about the Army game? The Army, North Texas laying 2.5 on the road, coming off that 50-point whatever it was win when everything was said and done against Washington State.
Yeah, well, Army comes in 1-1, which is what most people expected, but most people probably didn't expect them to lose to FCS Tarleton State and then go to Manhattan, Kansas and beat Kansas State of the Big 12. But that's how they got to this 1-1 record. I will say that Tarleton State loss, maybe not as bad as some people think. Tarleton was ranked in the top 10 in the preseason in the FCS, currently ranked third in the FCS nationally, only behind North Dakota State and South Dakota State. So even though it's not a good loss for Army, Tarleton State's got a good football team. I actually made Army a small favorite in this game over North Texas. This is the kind of game that Army, loves to play. They'll play that keep away option game. They run clock. They had 4 drives against Kansas State in their last game of 13 plays or longer. They were actually 10 of 22 on third downs, had 22 third down conversion opportunities, 6 of 7 on fourth. I think they're going to drag the clock out. Probably going to be without Dwayne Coleman, their starting quarterback, but their backup against Kansas State, Kel Helms, he carried the ball 41 times against Kansas State, 124 yards and 2 touchdowns. I think Army's going to churn some clock. I think they're going to win this game and beat North Texas in this American Conference opener.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm a little surprised North Texas would be a road favorite. Yeah, touchdown Iowa, right down the field. I tell you what, this has got 45-40.
Now.
Wow.
65.5, which is unheard of for an Iowa game. We've got 28 points and we're still in the first quarter.
Yeah, you don't get 28 points for the entire game. Paul, great job, man. As always, follow him on Twitter at Paul Stone Sports, at Paul Stone Sports. Thanks, Paul.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Look at the weather, try to look for some anytime touchdowns or maybe some props that you really feel confident about. But it's always the time for urgency, especially for a team like the New York Giants. I think that defense is something that can give Giants fans hope. And then if you get Dart under center, it's hope. And then if you can get Scatterboo out there and the whole building's going boo, it's hope. And as we know, hope works.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
You're in the Super Bowl market, if you're in the futures market, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Tyreek Hill is heavily connected to the Kansas City Chiefs. I am sure it would be Tyreek's first place if he could pick to go back to. At least I would think it would be. And the Chiefs have a need, and the Chiefs are interested, and they're not worried about any of his other question marks.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
They had clearly in hand at the end, especially in the second half, and yet somehow they managed a shank of a 60-yard field goal, and a flag comes in with no time left on it for a penalty. Do you want to know how many times that penalty of leverage was called all last season? Want to take a guess?
How many?
4.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 1. Thanks again, Paul Stone, for joining us. Check him out on Twitter at Paul Stone Sports, and then check out his website, paulstonesports.org. So his plays TCU, Memphis, and Army this weekend. While we were away, kind of like last break, touchdown in the Rutgers Iowa game. This time it's Iowa. 14 all now. I guess we mentioned it as we were going to break there. So it's back to the Rutgers is now a 1.5-point favorite since they have the football. Over-under game, we talked about it, 64.5. You got 28 now. You're in the first quarter, for goodness sakes. I mean, they're on pace for over 100 points. I don't expect them to get that, but you know what? I was going to ask you when it was 59.5. You want to double down or at least, go back in? I'll ask you now. I probably will. I mean, I'm sitting on the over. I got Rutgers as well, so I'm counting. I'm going to do the dangerous bad thing and count the over 46.5 as a probable winner. And if I'm going to do it one more time, now I guess would be the time, 64.5 before it gets too crazy.
Yeah, I think I clicked it. I'm on 64.5, or I think I might even got a bad number at 65.5 a couple of minutes ago. So yeah, 65.5. I think they're getting into the 70s at least here, right? It's 14-14 right now. It should slow down, but who knows? I mean, truth be told, Iowa just marched down the field pretty easily on Rutgers there. So that was the first drive that they had easy success. Rutgers have scored both times they touched the football. We'll see if they're able to do it again here right now. The game is essentially a pick-em, minus 115 on both sides, but great start for the total and a lot more entertaining than I'm sure a lot of people imagined when they first saw this on the schedule. Thinking, oh boy, Rutgers and Iowa. Oh, what a dull game that's going to be. Why is that on TV, national television? But we got a track meet. And Oklahoma State are down by 10. This is getting real right now. In that, all right, it's not that big of a deal. You're losing 13-3, but Tulsa continuously have the football, Scott. There's a lot of 3-and-outs for Oklahoma State. So, it's not like, oh, yeah, they're going back and forth, they're losing. It's like, no, this game is getting away from them here. I mean, Tulsa guys are a touchdown away from being up 20-3, man.
Wow. They've thrown for 33 yards. Now, it's midway through the second quarter, so you're not in the second half, but still, the quarterback floors is 6 of 9 for 33 yards, and they've run for 48 yards. Have less than 100 yards of total offense against Tulsa, which is 1-2. Sometimes, Gabe, I know. You know what it is, Gabe? Sometimes these coaches can't quit. So their only alternative is to get fired. Well, duh, Scott. But no, if you quit, then the 2, 3, 4 years at $5, $6, $7, whatever $1 million on your contract, you don't get paid if you quit. That's it. See you later. You quit. So what's the only alternative? To bottom out. And if you're just tired of coaching, you don't want to deal with the new rules, the NIL, and all the other mumbo jumbo. It's sad to say, but yet you have to make things so bad that the administration comes to you and says, all right, you know what? We'll fire you and we'll pay off your final 3 years at $6, $7, $8 million, whatever it is a year. I don't know if that's the case with Gundy, but I just, this team challenged for the Big 12 championship. We were talking about this team winning the national championship just a couple of years ago. I just wonder what's happened with Gundy. Maybe he's just like, you know what? I'm not going to recruit. I'm tired of it. Bottom out. Let him pay me off over the last 3 years. Maybe that's what's happening.
I was looking for live in-game coach to be fired numbers because, like I said, he was plus 600. Napier's the favorite. Yeah. I'm dead serious. I was looking it up. All I found right now with the coaches, because the games are going on, UCLA next head coach. John Gruden, plus 400. Deion Sanders, plus 500. Kenny Dillingham, plus 600, who's at Arizona State, of course.
Arizona State.
Justin Wilcox, who's at Cal. That's not a bad idea, actually.
Yeah.
Wilcox is a very good coach. I don't know if Dillingham would leave ASU. He's pretty fired up there. Tommy Rees, who's an offensive coordinator. Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher ain't getting the job. And so forth. But John Gruden's also the favorite to be the next head coach at Virginia Tech as well. Co-favorite, Shane Beamer. Shane Beamer, South Carolina, plus 500. You think he'd leave to go and follow in his father's footsteps and legacy?
I saw Von Tech.
Von Tech. Frank Beamer, of course, legendary coach there. In an interview on that SEC Netflix series, he was asked about Virginia Tech and if he would want to coach there, and he kind of said no. He said, I grew up loving Virginia Tech, obviously, and it's in my blood, but he said, I don't want to be known as Frank Beamer's son. I want to be like Shane Beamer, and I want to build my own legacy. But it's easy to say that. Now the job's open, right?
Yeah.
It's easy to say that. Like,
and the other thing, Gabe, is you have to strike while the iron is hot in college football. Like, listen, he's got a big time quarterback, right? But the kid could leave after this year, and maybe he got hurt last game against Vandy, and they got swamped by Vandy. Maybe things don't go as South Carolina.
He won't leave, but next where he leaves, he's going to the NFL. Sellers is eligible for the NFL now, so this will be it for Sellers. Yeah.
Right. So if you're Beamer, you can't, like, if you don't have another Sellers waiting at the wings, you got to get out now. You got to strike while the iron's hot in college football. I hate that about college football. I really do. But, I don't know how much he's making at South Carolina. I'm sure it's a decent amount of money. But if you have a school that's going to pay you double that, if you have Va Tech that says, all right, you're $4 million at South Carolina, we're going to give you $8 million, and you haven't won, honestly, squat at South Carolina, right? I mean, you can't say no to that. I almost think
Virginia Tech, though, it's a step down from South Carolina. So that's the problem.
Absolutely.
Like, it is. And
what, is he ever going to win those games in South Carolina in the SEC, honestly? Right?
No. And the thing is, I was just thinking, isn't Virginia Tech kind of in the same boat that Oklahoma State are in? They don't have NIL money, bro. They play Metallica, and it's cool. You know what I mean? And when was the last time they were good? When Michael Vick was there?
Well, yes, you got to call it the Vick family and see if there are any more kids on the horizon, whether it's Michael or his brother there. If the Vick doesn't have any more kids,
was pretty good, if you remember. Logan Thomas, there was Logan Thomas was the quarterback, the big kids. Va Tech had a couple of good years here and there, but the only time they were good was like with Michael Vick. Let's just call it out for what it is. How are they going to compete in the modern world?
Yeah. So you think about it, outside of the Thomas years and when Vick's brother was there, no one really has had any success there after Beamer left. So, in-game live, Black Cloud plays today. Coming up next.
They have Boise State, they have Arkansas, they have USC. There's no shot in Purdue. Those are the only big games that they have the rest of the way. They're not getting back into the college football playoff. They're not, Donnie. I don't care if they've won 10 straight.
Remember when they lost to NIU? No way, no care. What happens the rest of the season? They can't get in. Who was in the college football championship last year?
But they had marquee wins at some point.
I don't care. They lost to NIU.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
I needed a mental break when the season was over. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. You get tired of training. But, man, I never get tired of playing golf. I love it. I mean, every course is different. Every day is different. And some days you're like, oh, I got this. I got it. Then you go out there and shoot a 95 the next day. I'm like, damn.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
NFL season with about 750,000 downloads. Really interesting when you look at the third and the fourth spot. You have Bet365 and Fanatics, which were, again, that first week, they were the only sports books that grew. The good news for the other sports books in terms of downloads this week is even when you take out Fanatics and Bet365, app downloads still grew about 20% across the board overall.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
Had clearly in hand at the end, especially in the second half, and yet somehow they managed a shank of a 60-yard field goal, and a flag comes in with no time left on it for a penalty. Do you want to know how many times that penalty of leverage was called all last season? Want to take a guess?
How many?
4.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Quick little update before we get to the Black Cloud. Rutgers has it 3rd and goal at the Iowa 1. Of course, they had it 1st and goal at the Iowa 1. I will say that. Tulsa 16-3. They've added a field goal leading Oklahoma State. We'll update the
Looks
lines.
like they're in.
They're in?
Hold on. Looks like they're in. They should be in. I don't know how they're not in. No one called a touchdown. Every black jersey's in the damn end zone, ref. Figure it out. Touchdown,
right,
Rutgers. Yeah, no, it's one of you can't see where the ball is, Scott, but it was like, guys, like, see all the big guys? They're all on the other side of the line, all right? The ball's in there somewhere, and they're all on the other side of the line right now.
Yeah, it's impossible for the ball not to be in when the whole offensive line is
it's somewhere in there.
The end zone.
Kaliamakis was under the pile in there somewhere. But, yeah, they just called it a touchdown. Good job by Rutgers. You know what? They ran the tush-push, Scott. Amazing. They literally the same thing. The same thing. They literally just ran the tush-push. Wow, I've never seen that in college before like that. They don't even like handing the ball off to guys in college, Scott. I love to see that. Call a guy under center like that on the goal line. Hate that, bro. When it's 3rd and goal, let's snap it back to the 7.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, no. Now he's on the 10-yard line when he backpedals. But how about this Rutgers offense? They've responded. They've scored all 3 possessions. Unbelievable.
That's amazing. 20 to
now they're
20,
reviewing
20.
All scoring reviewed, but whatever. It'll be a touchdown.
Yeah, that'll be a touchdown. Yeah, so. All right, so over-under, FanDuel's got it at 68.5 now. 5.5 is Rutgers' favorite. So, all right, when they put the extra point on the board, we'll update that. In the meantime, how about our Black Cloud play of the day? All right, this is like a no-brainer. I'm surprised the number that they gave us here. We're going to use the Dodgers game against San Francisco. Last game, and you can make the case this is going to be the last game Clayton Kershaw at least starts anyway. I don't know if he's going to get one of the 1 or 2 starts or 3 if it ends up being a 3-game series against the Mets, which it figures to be the opening round of the postseason. So the next 2 series for the Dodgers are on the road. He announced his retirement 2 days ago. So this is it. This could be realistically Clayton Kershaw's last start anyway for the LA Dodgers at home. So with that in mind, FanDuel, now they bumped the odds up a little bit, but it is still 14.5 his outs. He's had 5 innings or more in 7 of his last 8 starts, albeit the last time out against San Francisco, he didn't pitch well, but he also threw 3 hit 7 innings to shutout ball against the Giants 2 months ago. I'm going to use that last outing as a positive because there's no way he's having back-to-back bad outings. And like I said, they're going to give him every leash out there possible for him to go at least 5 innings. You know the Dodgers want to win for him last start. So I don't know how he doesn't go 5 innings. I love the over 14.5 outs for Clayton Kershaw. Again, that's only 5.
I like where you're going. But I'm going to approach it differently, guys. So my best bet for this game, we're going to jump on the Kershaw train here. And Scott's right. This is probably his last start ever, to be honest. Right? If you look, dude, Ohtani nearly threw no-hitter the other day. Snell, they're all on fire. Like, you basically got Yamamoto, you've got Glasnow, you've got Snell, you've got Ohtani. There's 4 starters, right? So, and then, boom, Kershaw will, I think Kershaw pitches at Dodger Stadium again, but every time he does, it could be, this is the last time type of deal. But I like this, Scott, because I totally like where you're going with this. They're going to want to get him the win. Kershaw's going to want to get the win. He has pitched well in his career, and not just in his career, but over his last couple of starts against San Francisco. But he's 27-16 in his career against San Fran, 2.08 ERA, 0.93 WHIP, which is incredible. But Kershaw to record the win, Scott, plus 210. So it's almost the same thing of what you're doing. You're talking about, all right, he's going to get the outs, and you just talked about they're going to want to get him the win and go 5 tonight, right? Let's call it out for what it is. They're going to want to, he's on the record. He won his last home start against San Francisco. It's beautiful. It's just poetic. So at that plus money, you can lay to 170 with the Dodgers. It keeps coming down because it was 185 earlier today, but you're a numbers guy. This is amazing, guys. This is the 2,579th time that the Dodgers and Giants have played. The Giants have won 1,289 times. The Dodgers have won 1,289 times, Scott. They're tied.
That's amazing.
That's
amazing.
that Kershaw could be the one tonight. I like this. That,
He could be the
all right,
one,
Kershaw,
deciding
put
one.
it over the top in this big legacy of history here. Give them the one-game lead. That's amazing. That's like Duke in North Carolina. They played 160 times or something. It's literally like 80 and 79 or whatever. But pretty amazing, Scott. Dead even. 1289 each. That's amazing.
Crazy. All right, hour number 2. Go.
They have Boise State, they have Arkansas, they have USC. There's no shot in Purdue. Those are the only big games that they have the rest of the way. They're not getting back into the college football playoff. They're not, Donnie. I don't care if they've won 10 straight.
Remember when they lost to NIU? No way, no care. What happens the rest of the season? They can't get in. Who was in the college football championship last year?
But they had marquee wins at some point
I don't care. They lost to NIU.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
I needed a mental break when the season was over. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. You get tired of training. But, man, I never get tired of playing golf. I love it. I mean, every course is different. Every day is different. And some days you're like, oh, I got this. I got it. Then you go out there and shoot a 95 the next day. I'm like, damn.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
NFL season with about 750,000 downloads. Really interesting when you look at the third and the fourth spot. You have Bet365 and Fanatics, which were, again, that first week, they were the only sports books that grew. The good news for the other sports books in terms of downloads this week is even when you take out Fanatics and Bet365, app downloads still grew about 20% across the board overall.
Newswire. Only on SportsGrid.
They had clearly in hand at the end, especially in the second half, and yet somehow they managed a shank of a 60-yard field goal, and a flag comes in with no time left on for a penalty. Do you want to know how many times that penalty of leverage was called all last season? Want to take a guess?
How many?
4.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back. In-game live game day here on the grid. Starting hour number 2. Scott and Gabe until 10 p.m. Eastern time. A little WNBA starting here in a couple of moments. We got baseball. We got some college football. Just to throw real quickly, Gabe, I know you want to do the college football, which is cool. The WNBA game starting in 3 minutes. And when they say 9:03, they mean 9:03. So really, it's 1 minute from now.
Yeah, get your bets in.
Yeah, get them fast. I like Phoenix. I like the under in the game, and I got my SGP out there, but it's all based on Alyssa Thomas having a good game. But I think Phoenix does get the win today over New York.
Yeah, I'm on the same thing. Phoenix money line, under in the game. I don't play a lot of unders, guys, but dear God, here comes Iowa right now. So 21-14, 10 minutes left in the second, and now Iowa are moving into the red zone. This really is a track meet. Who would have, wow, it's right. So at least we got in on that over 64.5 as well. You got 64.5, I got 65.5. We got in on that, but man, the WNBA guys, if you're missing it, the last minutes of these games have been insane. And give credit to Seattle. I don't know how those girls nearly pulled that off against Vegas, but they did. They just would not go away. So, it's been very competitive. For the record, Scott and everybody, the Aces open up as 9-point favorites against the Fever on Sunday. The Minnesota Lynx await the winner of tonight's game. But I'm with Wetzel. Give me the Phoenix Mercury on the money. I'm taking the money line minus 155. Let's go under 155 and a half. Actually, it's the same thing, the money line and the total. And the Soda Sabally girl has been on fire rebounds. 8 and 7 in the 2 games. It's only 5.5, so I'll just ride the wave there with Sabally over. College football. I'm just going to give some picks for the early games. I'm going to be on at noon Eastern with Cam Stewart tomorrow. We're on for 3 hours. Then Scott and Ranieri take over after. So a couple of early hits here. We got that early start here, the Dean's List. Utah. Everyone talks every year about Utah. This is the year for Utah. They're going to go into the Big 12. They're going to take things over and stuff. I'm really impressed with what I've seen with them. I really like their quarterback in Dampier. I've been betting on Texas Tech, but it's different betting on Texas Tech playing cupcakes at home. Now they're going on the road to Utah. They haven't played there a lot. Utah are new in the conference. You get the altitude as well. You have a super early morning start here by Texas time and Utah time and everybody. So we got an early start, man. We're talking about a game that's kicking off at 10 in the morning for them. So I'm going with the Utah Utes minus the 3 on their home field. I'm with Paul Stone, who was with us earlier, guys. Arkansas played a really competitive game. We were on Arkansas last week against Mississippi, plus the 6.5, 7, whatever. They lost by 6. They covered a number. The game went over. But it was a draining track meet game. They got Notre Dame on deck. Now they got a Memphis team that Memphis can make the playoffs if they go undefeated. They need to win this game, and they can make the playoffs. So they need to win this game, Memphis. They're getting 7 points. Give me Memphis. I think it's going to be a track meet, guys. We're going to go over to 61. Same thing with SMU and TCU. We talked about that game with Paul earlier, guys. Another track meet, guys. SMU can't stop anybody. Neither can SMU. This game's going to get into the 70s, 80s type of deal. Let's go over to 63. And a couple of quick hits for the 3:30 games. I like Auburn as a live dog with Jackson Arnold going back to Norman, Oklahoma in a smash-mouth defensive game that's going to be close. Matt Rule, 0-17 against ranked teams at Baylor and at Nebraska. So he's lost his last 17 games against ranked opponents. Give me Michigan minus the 1. And final pick here, Purdue and Notre Dame over 51.5. I think there'll be a track meet there. And speaking of which, Iowa just scored a touchdown. Scott, you're a Nebraska guy. We're going head-to-head. Bills, Dolphins, and now Michigan and Nebraska. Do you feel better about Nebraska tomorrow?
Listen, more than last night, let's put it that way. But do I really think they're going to win? Yeah, no, I don't. Listen, this is one of those moment of truths, right? There's a couple teams, Rutgers tonight against Iowa. They've approached it a little bit, but they just can't beat the big boys. Nebraska, they're 0-27. Not only is Rule 0-17, and most of that was elsewhere, Nebraska, Gabe, is 0-27 against ranked teams. So this is like, let me see it. I've been down this road with this team before. They've been okay. I'm not in love with their quarterback, Raiola. He came in with the dad being there, a lot of fanfare and everything else, but he was bad last year. In the games I've watched this year, he can't throw. So I think it's going to be a low-scoring game, and it's sad to say, but I think Michigan does get the road win, believe it or not.
Michigan should be more battle-tested, Scott. Underwood, it's a baptism by fire. Everybody has it. It doesn't matter who you are. And his duties, he just turned 18. It was Saturday night, second game. They go into Norman, Oklahoma on a Saturday night. It was a tough spot for him. This is a tough spot, obviously, going into Husker country, but I like the fact that they've got a big-time road game under their belt now already. And this is like the first real opponent that Nebraska is seeing this year. I don't think it helps them playing Houston Christian. Like, honestly, they like it. Okay, you routed these bad teams, but now you're playing Michigan. Michigan already played Oklahoma, right? Like, Michigan are battle-tested now already.
That's like the conversation we were having about SMU and TCU, right? As a fan, do you want to play Houston Christian? What? No, of course not. But does the coach? Yeah, because the coach is trying to turn things around. He wants to be 3-0 and get,
Fans don't want to pay for it either. College football attendance has gone down over the years because of that, what you just said. People are like, I don't want to pay to go watch my team. It's like, now you're a Michigan fan. All right, you beat Central Michigan 66-3. At what point are you bored, Scott, and thinking, all right, I'm going to go home and watch that good game on TV now? Like, you know what I mean? Right. Like, you get bored.
Yeah, it's crazy. I'll tell you the other thing, Gabe, is, sometimes these smaller conferences, they all kind of get mixed in. American Conference, Sun Belt, whatever, right? Southwest Conference. But the American Conference, they're going to be the fifth conference. I don't think the Mountain West will be with Boise State losing. But think about
that's why
the
I'm saying
teams
Memphis have a shot here, bro.
Yeah,
they got a shot for real.
The teams. You got Memphis, right? If they can knock off Arkansas, South Florida's in this conference, and I know they got whacked last week by Miami, but they still got 2 pretty good wins over Florida and Boise State on their resume. Navy, nobody ever beats Navy. That they're in this conference, and Tulane has an opportunity this week, and they knocked off the Dookie Pukies. Yeah, I mean those are 4 really good teams in this conference. So pick one. I'm pretty sure this is going to be the 5th conference, not the Mountain West like it was last year with Boise State.
That's what I'm saying, guys. Memphis really have this game circled. This point blank. They have a chance to put themselves into that mix, especially with Boise State not looking the part, right? And listen, we can't dismiss them, fully. They got that Notre Dame game coming up, but the way that they lost to South Florida really sets them back. I like Memphis plus the 7. I'm glad to see Paul does as well. Are you pulling the trigger with Memphis plus 7 tomorrow?
Yeah, I got to put a little money line parlay together on Memphis. I think could win outright. I think Illinois could win outright. There were a couple of other 7 point, 6.5,
I like
7-point dogs.
Plus.
Yeah,
what are they doing with this Rutgers game, Scott? They're giving away TVs in the crowd. I've never seen this before. A bunch of kids walking around with big flat screen TVs on their shoulder. Like, well, why don't you give it to them after the game or something? Like, what are the kids supposed to sit there with a flat screen in a box? I don't know what's going on here.
I never heard of such a thing. They're giving away TVs?
Yeah. They just came back from the break. It was like a commercial break, like in stadium something. Yeah, there's a bunch of like frat boys all high-fiving, walking up the steps with TVs on their shoulder. So, guys, give them to them after the game.
See, again, this is the advantage of being a minute behind. I'm going to see this here in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, watch
I'm still in commercial.
It's kind of confusing, Scott. I'm like, what? Like, I'm thinking, what do you got to go to the bathroom, Scott? You got to sort of carry the box and team the flat.
All right, guys, steal your TV
you can't
set.
leave the TV at the seat. Like,
yeah, here it is now. I see these running up.
You see?
The TV.
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh, amazing. Everyone coming up.
Enter into the magical world of McLuck.com, where even the smallest of spins can win real cash prizes. Adventure into over 1,000 of the best Vegas-style slot games. So what are you waiting for? Unlock your free welcome offer today. Join the fun where winners play and players win.
I needed a mental break when the season was over. Like, because it's a lot. It's a lot. You get tired of training. But, man, I never get tired of playing golf. I love it. I mean, every course is different. Every day is different. And like, some days you're like, oh, I got this. I got it. Then you go out there and shoot a 95 the next day. I'm like, damn.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
I mean, I think so. You talk about how difficult it is to bring an expansion team into the league and have success in your first season. Like, that's fairly unheard of. And not only have success, but they're in the playoffs. So I think she certainly deserves to win Coach of the Year. There's a lot of different candidates that could potentially, you could make a case for them. But I think just with this being an expansion team and how difficult that is.
Betting above the rim. Only on SportsGrid.
It was nice to see that even though they couldn't follow the same blueprint as last season, or just the way that everyone thought their offense was going to run this year, Josh Jacobs struggled and Jordan Love stepped up. And if you're a Packer fan, that's what you were hoping to see, is that in the moments where you can't rely on the run, can the quarterback that you invested a lot of money into, now draft capital, putting weapons around him, rise to the occasion, and he did.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe, hour number 2. We got college football opposite picks coming up in about 10 minutes or so. Quick check. Haven't looked at baseball here tonight so far, but a couple things that does stand out. Red Sox have tied up Tampa Bay 3-3. It's been a struggle for them. They're really kind of in a funk here. They're limping home, that's for sure. You still getting plus 220. That's oh no, it's 3-2. Never mind. I thought I saw 3-3. No wonder it's plus 220. Mets 8-6. Yeah.
Man, these Met games are always
game.
Crazy. 8-6.
Oh, they're crazy.
You got to bet the over of every Met game before. Like, it's the same game every night. It's always
every night.
Every night.
Never
it's
over.
the same thing. So we're in the bottom of the 6 right now. It's the same game we play every week, every night, Scott. Look, we're in the bottom of the 6. They're at 16.5. We're at 14. Should be another 3 runs here. I'd be surprised if there wasn't, to be honest.
Yeah. And this Nationals team could actually score, believe it or not. They've been like an over machine second half of the year. So, yeah, I don't doubt that at all. Big series in Houston, Gabe. Seattle and Houston. Yep. Here's what's interesting about it, right? So these two teams tied for first place in the AL West, and they're battling all the teams for the wild card. So it's a best of 3. Right now, they're tied in the season series. So whichever team wins 2 out of the 3 only takes a 1-game lead, but they win the head-to-head tiebreaker for the year. So they really have a 2-game lead, and there'll only be 6 games left. So not insurmountable.
And they could end up playing each other again, too. Right?
Yeah,
they could end up playing each other in a playoff, which is bizarro world as well. Man, like, we've been football focused, but this baseball playoffs, these wild card chases are really convoluted, man. This is a big weekend. Big weekend.
Cleveland winning again. I think the Guards won again. Is the game over? Or Detroit lost again? They were getting whacked 10-1.
Guardians up 2-0. That was a good pick. You gave it earlier. It was only minus 115 too, huh? They're red hot against a team that's not very good. And I get it. Some teams play well down the stretch, even if they're not good. But you notice the Twins are a little different, Scott. They're just angry and beaten down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Baltimore is sort of like, hey, this didn't work out the way we did, but I still want to hit home runs. And like, you'll notice the dugout and stuff. They're high-fiving and they're into it, and you can't really tell their record. You watch a Twin game, bro. There's chance to sell the team. You know what I mean? The players look glum. Like, it's not they're not happy. It's not I'm putting up numbers. Like, the Twins are playing out the string here.
Yeah. So you got the Tigers losing again, 10-1. Guardians
they're
winning.
really falling apart, man, the Tigers, huh?
They might not make the playoffs game because, listen, it's a 3-game lead over Cleveland.
The Guardians
win.
Yeah. They're going to plummet in the wild card. Exactly.
Yes.
They go from first place in the division to out of the wild card. Yeah.
Out of the wild card. They're only 2 games up on Boston for the last wild card spot. So let's just say we'll play devil's advocate here. They lose the 3 games against Cleveland next week.
And the Red Sox aren't winning enough games suddenly either, Scott. They could, the Red Sox could have almost locked it up, bro. They're just not. Like, it's like, who wants this thing, guys? It's right there for you. Who wants it?
Yeah. Nobody. It's crazy. You look at even the National League teams, that are contending for the last wild card spot. Mets 3-7 last 10. Reds 5-5 last 10. Arizona 5-5 last 10. San Francisco 4-6 last 10. I mean, it's like it's only the Guardians. They're the only team. Texas has lost 4 in a row, right? I mean, it's wild. Royals, they're 7 back now, but they lost 7 of the last 10. They were in the running. It's just a battle of attrition with this wild card. Like, whoever doesn't get it, Gabe, they have no complaints. Don't complain about the division being tough. Don't complain. You have no.
Everybody had your opportunity. You got 162 games. You've had a million chances. Well, I'll tell you what. Mike Gundy doesn't have 162 games left in him. 16-3 at the half. Wow.
3 points.
16-3 at the half against an in-state little brother, cousin. No disrespect to Tulsa, but you went over the numbers. What, they beat them 23 times in a row? Or whatever.
23 at home. Yeah.
23 at 23 at home. Like, guys, even like when they're not good, they still beat them like 44-10 last year type of deal.
Gabe,
like,
to put it into perspective.
This is bad. This is bad. And Tulsa are not good this year. It's not like this is a good Tulsa team.
That's what I mean. Tulsa lost to Navy 42-23. All right, so that's all right. So Navy's pretty good.
Yeah.
They lost to New Mexico State 21-14.
Yeah, not even New Mexico.
Do you know
Mexico
how
State.
bad? Yes, I mean New Mexico State is like lower than UTEP. They are just brutal, and they lost to that team, this Tulsa team. And right now, Oklahoma State has scored 3 points against them at home. Wow.
Kids on Tulsa are fired up to pull off the upset. They're going to fire him.
He might not last.
They will.
Yeah.
They're going to fire him.
Yeah.
Like, this is it. We should have jumped in on it. It was plus 600 earlier in the week. Remember, I brought it up with Bovey.
Yeah.
I didn't think they would want to embarrass him, bro. But you can't do it. Remember, Bovey said, I said, I don't want to embarrass him. And remember, Paul said, he goes, yeah, but you can't lose 69-3 every week either the rest of the year. We're still early in the year. And here we are right now. The fact they only have 3 points against Tulsa, like you said, he's going to get fired on Sunday. I think they'll do it on Sunday. I'm a man.
You said it.
Good thing you're a man.
Yeah. You said it. If they can't beat Tulsa at home, they're not winning again this year. Then, barring something crazy, they'll be. And they're going to.
The brass is going to think. The brass is going to think we can't lose by 40 every week and just not do anything about it. Our fan base and the boosters are going to flip.
Yeah. Wow.
John Gruden on line 1. Everybody's going to be like, can we get Gruden?
Can we get, And Oklahoma State, that might not be a bad. Like, get in the middle of America, get away from the NFL stuff.
Not huge expectations. It's sort of like it's like Belichick, North Carolina. Win us 8 games, we're going to be happy, coach. Win us 8-9 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all it takes. Just appease our fan base here a little bit until basketball season gets here. It's just so we're not an embarrassment. Same thing with that. Same thing. Just
Oklahoma State's become a basketball school. You're right.
Yeah.
And they had Barry Sanders, guys, and Thurman Thomas on the same team.
Yeah.
Imagine that. The same team.
Brandon Whedon. Remember him? That's a decent team.
38-year-old quarterback.
Yeah, coming up next.
There are right now 10 teams who are 0-2. Every team on this list is 0-2. These are the 7 teams through 2 weeks who have already been eliminated from the Super Bowl picture. First, the Cleveland Browns, who I believe were the worst team coming into this season. The Cleveland Browns are absolutely done.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Josh Heupel. I mean, please, dude, you got to be kidding me. How do you lose this game at home when you've got Georgia on the ropes with a iffy quarterback at best there in Gunnard, and you somehow figure out a way to lose that game? A game, Donnie, which was pretty much in hand for Notre Dame, 3/4 of it.
The Early Line. Only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
I needed a mental break when the season was over. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. You get tired of training. But, man, I never get tired of playing golf. I love it. I mean, every course is different. Every day is different. And some days you're like, oh, I got this. I got it. Then you go out there and shoot a 95 the next day. I'm like, damn.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
Ah, yes. You know what that music means. Time to take out the pad and pencil. Of our slowest starts ever. Only 6 winners going opposite, 15 on the other side. Let's turn it around here. First of our 7-pack, SMU getting 6.5 versus TCU. Last game in the Iron Skillet rivalry, which began back in 1922. TCU head coach Sonny Dykes says, no more, don't want to play SMU anymore. You telling me TCU is too good for SMU? You talk about a chip on someone's shoulder. That is what SMU has because of that slighting. That is for sure. Also, SMU is spectacular, 11-1 straight up their last 12 road games. As my buddy Arnie Spanier once said, don't like the 6.5 points, don't need the 6.5 points, but I will take the 6.5 points. Love SMU to win this game outright. Yeah. Give me TCU minus the 6.5. Pick number 2, Temple getting 23.5 against Georgia Tech. Letdown spot of the year after Tech knocked off Clemson last week. Did they celebrate? Check the school's president's backyard pool. Why? Because that's where the stadium's goalposts were put by the fans who dragged the goalposts through the streets of Atlanta after their win last week. They're not taking this game seriously. Love Temple plus 23.5. Give me Georgia Tech minus the 23.5. Pick number 3, Michigan laying 1.5 in Nebraska. Greatest sports axiom of all time in play. Winners bet with streaks, losers bet against streaks. The streak, Nebraska has lost 27 straight games against ranked teams, which is what Michigan is. Also, Michigan 4-0 against Nebraska since it joined the Big Ten, winning by 56-10, 32-29, not bad, 34-3, and 45-7. That's 167-39, folks. Yikes. Then now all I have to do is lay 1.5. Love Michigan here. Yeah, give me Nebraska plus the 1.5. Pick number 4, Boise State laying 11.5 at Air Force. This is not your classic Boise State team. I get that. But more importantly, this is not your classic Air Force team either. They were 4-8 last year. Horrible. They only have 13 returning starters. They beat FCS Bucknell. Big stinking deal. Their other game this year, they lost to Utah State by 19 points. They don't stand a chance against Boise State. Yeah, give me Air Force plus the 11.5. Pick number 5, Illinois getting 6.5 against Indiana. I don't get it. Illinois has won covered 7 straight dating back to last year. They've played 3 games. They've yet to turn the ball over 1 time. They're 5-1 against the spread as Big Ten road dogs of 10 points or less. And oh, by the way, I buried the lead, as they say in our industry. Head coach Brett Bielema for Illinois, a computer crashing, website freezing, browser spinning so you can't log on. 15-3 against the spread as an underdog of 2 or more points in his career. Love Illinois getting 6.5. Yeah. Give me Indiana minus the 6.5. Pick number 6, BYU laying 6.5 at East Carolina. BYU, folks, does nothing but win and cover. That's it. That's all they do. They're like a shark. You know what? They're 2-0 already this season, picking up from where they left off last year. They're now 27-9 straight up, and more importantly, 17-10-1 against the spread in line games over the last 3+ seasons. East Carolina can beat the lousy teams, yes, but you know what? They're 0-7 against winning teams the last 2 years. Love BYU here. Yeah, give me East Carolina plus the 6.5. Pick number 7, Vanderbilt laying 28.5 against Georgia State. For the first time ever, we're suggesting laying over 4 touchdowns with Vandy. Why? Listen, I wouldn't have done that against Topeka High, for goodness sakes. But with this team, different story. Why? Because this same team, Vandy, that beat Alabama last year and nearly beat Texas last year, somehow or another lost to a 3-win Georgia State team. They are going to be out for blood, and Georgia State's already lost by 56 to Ole Miss. Absolutely love Vandy to destroy Georgia State. Give me Georgia State plus the 28.5. Opposite picks, week number 4.
There are right now 10 teams who are 0-2. Every team on this list is 0-2. These are the 7 teams through 2 weeks who have already been eliminated from the Super Bowl picture. First, the Cleveland Browns, who I believe were the worst team coming into this season. The Cleveland Browns are absolutely done.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Josh Heupel. I mean, please, dude, you got to be kidding me. How do you lose this game at home when you've got Georgia on the ropes with a iffy quarterback at best there in Gunnard, and you somehow figure out a way to lose that game? A game, Donnie, of which was pretty much in hand for Notre Dame, 3/4 of it.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
I needed a mental break when the season was over. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. You get tired of training. But, man, I never get tired of playing golf. I love it. I mean, every course is different. Every day is different. And some days you're like, oh, I got this. I got it. Then you go out there and shoot a 95 the next day. I'm like, damn.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live, Game Day here on the grid. So we are set with our college football opposite picks week number 4. Let's talk a little college football, a little baseball. Who knows what else is on the plate for Mr. Cam Stewart, who joined us now as he does every Wednesday and Friday. What's going on, Cam? How are you today, bud?
Yeah, busy night, guys. Just a lot of action. We got baseball, we got college football, we got everything. CFL football, a game going off too. Yep. Gabe's probably going to give you this pick as well, but the BC Lions getting 5.5 points at home and the over in this game, Scott. I got to give Toronto a lot of credit right now, with basically a third-string quarterback. They just scored a touchdown, tried a crazy play, a kick, but Montreal recovered it. It looks like the Alouettes could survive, but probably not going to cover the spread in this one. But BC and Calgary's up next. Should be a lot of fun, a lot of points in this game, and I'm going to take the underdog and what should be an absolute shootout.
A good parlay in this game for the first quarter. This is a good CFL parlay that I've been betting quite a bit. Is look at it's under score props. So you go into the score props. So long story short, first quarter team total points. You bet both teams over 0.5 points. So it's essentially will both teams score in the first quarter, and it's minus 115 tonight. But think about it, Scott. Think about the benefit, the added advantage, bro, of a single point in the CFL.
Yeah,
right.
You could miss a field goal and get the point. That counts as a score.
Rouge.
Right? So there's 15 minutes, Scott. I can get a touchdown. I could get a field goal. I might get
That's
a
not
punt
bad.
out of bounds. That's a single point. Like in an NFL game, it's, okay, I got to get it. Both teams got to score a field goal or a touchdown, essentially. CFL, Scott, is a little bit different. That's why I want to bring it up. It's a really good bet because of that extra angle that you get. And I expect both teams to score anyways. And also it's 3 downs. So you get a ton of possessions in the first quarter. So it's not like the NFL where one team has the ball for 7 minutes, the other team has the ball for 8 minutes. No, the team has the ball for 38 seconds or 2 minutes or something, or they'll score. Like, it's really fast, the CFL. So just throwing it out there, guys. If you can figure it out, I got a lot of people, how do you bet that? But you got to figure it out. Go under the first quarter team, the score prop, score points, first quarter, over 0.5, both teams, over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the odds of that not happening, Gabe, are like, I'm actually shocked of the odds of that. Because how many times you'll have a missed field goal for a Rouge, a single, right? And to Gabe's point, the CFL
and the
not
total
like the
57
NFL.
guys in this game. So if I can't get 2 points in the first, I'm in trouble.
That's the best. Well, score after 1-1. I win. Yeah,
I'll take it.
wicked.
Yeah, I'll take it. Oh, it's 3-1, whatever. 3-1. Like,
11-11, but we'll take 1-1 after the first quarter. God bless the Canadian Football League. This game's absolutely
just throwing it out there, though.
Madness. No, it's a great bet. Like, and I'm actually.
I think
shocked
a good play too is a 7-point teaser. BC plus 12 to over 50. It should be a track meet between these two teams. And last bet, and we're gonna move on from the CFL, but last bet too.
Yeah.
BC have scored 30 or more in 7 of their last 8 games, 8 games in a row type of deal.
Yeah.
It's plus 235 tonight, over 30.5 points. You're getting a great number. It's sort of, Scott, like I talked about with the Kershaw, plus 210 to record the win. It's a good way to attack it at plus money. So if I think it's going to be an over, and I think it's going to be high scoring, why the hell don't I try to cash a nice plus 240 at over 30.5 for one of the team totals as well? But I'll just throw that out there, guys. Give me Kershaw to record the win tonight at plus 210 in the Dodger game.
Yeah. What do you like in that one, Cam?
That's a tough game. Well, obviously with Clayton Kershaw, all eyes on him. It's going to be tough, though. The Giants are playing great baseball right now, guys. So, I lean Dodgers. They were, but I still think, when
they're not now. Over the last, they've hit the wall.
Yeah, I'm just saying it was a good run, but the thing is, it doesn't matter because when San Francisco plays the Dodgers, they're going to show up for the game. The Dodgers would probably be the play. They want Clayton Kershaw to go out with a bang here in the regular season. I'm just shocked by this college game, Tulsa and Oklahoma State. Gabe, you know me and my dogs. I like Tulsa, but the fact that they're beating Oklahoma State 19-3, and kudos to you who actually took an over in this Iowa Rutgers game that turned out to be an absolute shootout. 21-21, you're sitting there going, what is this? This is not Iowa football, but a lot of points in that game. Guys, I'm not sure if Oklahoma State can even come back. They're getting 10.5 right
no, they're
now.
Not coming back. They're done. They're losing.
That's what I'm saying. I would actually put more money on Tulsa, guys. That's what I'm saying with the Golden Hurricane in this spot. Oklahoma State's done. Gundy's done. And this is an all-time low for the Oklahoma State Cowboy program to get beaten down at home by the Tulsa Golden Hurricane. This is unbelievable right now, what's going on here. This program's hit rock bottom.
Yeah, they've beaten them 23 straight times. At home, anyway. Oklahoma State has, and they're not. I had more confidence in the 10.5 than I did the 45.5. Because who knows? Maybe Tulsa wins 50-3, but I don't think at 10.5 they're getting to cover Oklahoma State. So they're at the half. Rutgers and Iowa 21 all. Who'd you have in that one, and where do you think? Where would you go now for the viewers?
I'm on Iowa, but I don't know what to do with the game. Gabe, I think you're on Rutgers in this spot. The over, are they going to keep on scoring? That's the question. I don't know. Is it going to slow down a little bit in the second half? But absolutely shocked that they put up 42 points in that football game. But I got to be honest with you, Scott, I'm on Iowa. Gabe's on Rutgers. This game could go either way. I think it's going to be very, very tight. Not a real opinion on that game. I would probably go under, I guess, with an inflated total, but they've been scoring at will. So who knows what's going to happen in that game. I'm just shocked they scored that many points.
Rutgers, oh jeez, they almost gave up a punt return for a touchdown on the final play of the first half. What a way to close out. They gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown to start the game, and they damn near gave up a punt return to end the
They
first
do get
half.
the ball. They do get the ball to start the second half.
Yeah, 21 off.
That's a big drive for them. They better take the lead again. Otherwise, Iowa's going to win the game.
Yeah. Any baseball right now before we get to tomorrow's college football, Cam?
Baseball, I don't know if there's going to be any this Angels-Rockies game. I know it's a dumpster fire, but do you like runs? Like, we're already at 12 runs in the fifth inning, 17 and a half. It doesn't look like anybody's slowing down. These guys are throwing in, it's just meatball alert, like no good relievers in this spot. So I could see us getting over in that game. Other than that, no. I got to be honest with you. Didn't see Kansas City scoring 7 runs against the Blue Jays earlier in that game, but it's really slowed down. But Kansas City's up 10-1, and the Yankees are losing, right? So they're down 4-2. I think Baltimore just won that game. Yeah, Baltimore just won. Jays are losing, so no ground there. Boston's up 4-3 in that game. Yeah, you could look at Tampa Bay. They're plus 260 live on FanDuel right now, but they're in the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a nice price, but I'm going to stop. Gabe and I have a lot of college football on the show tomorrow. We're on at noon, and I'm going to have more money betting on that. I don't want to reach on any baseball games, but I do believe we're going to have more runs in this Angels-Colorado game. They're not slowing down. It's 6-6 already.
All right. Give me a couple of college football. We'll hold you over for the next segment, but give me some college football plays tomorrow.
Well, I have a couple that are on the board tomorrow there, Scott. One early in the early game, in the late game. I'm taking some dogs in these spots. So I don't have too many plays in college football right now, more in the NFL. But over the next segment, I also have I just have a pack of dogs in every single league, college football, NFL, and a CFL game that goes down on Saturday night as well. I can give you some golf, too. I was watching some of this other stuff. The guy that I had, Saturday, made a nice little move today. And it's funny, Gabe, I'm like the kiss of death. I'm like, ever since Brooks Koepka went to live, he's not playing well. But Brooks Koepka's in this field right now, and he's 5 under. So if you're looking for a big number, the leader right now is Marcus Armitage. He's just basically a grinder from England who's been on tour for a long time. But a lot of the big names are starting, bigger names in this tournament that Cup making moves right now. So if you want to take Koepka, this guy's 5 shots back right now and an incredible price. So that's something that I would look at. But I told you, I like Adrien Sadier, the player from France, who is 4 shots back now with 2 rounds of golf to play. This is a guy, he's in great form right now, and he had a low round today. He's playing good golf, and he's right in the mix.
All right, we'll take a quick little break, and we'll come back, and we'll get some of Cam's thoughts then on the NFL and maybe a little college football there as well. Maybe we can entice him on a couple of Clayton Kershaw pop plays tonight here on the Grid.
There are right now 10 teams who are 0-2. Every team on this list is 0-2. These are the 7 teams through 2 weeks who have already been eliminated from the Super Bowl picture. First, the Cleveland Browns, who I believe were the worst team coming into this season. The Cleveland Browns are absolutely done.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Josh Heupel. I mean, please, dude, you got to be kidding me. How do you lose this game at home when you've got Georgia on the ropes with a iffy quarterback at best there in Gunnard, and you somehow figure out a way to lose that game? A game, Donnie, of which was pretty much in hand for Notre Dame, 3/4 of it.
The early line. Only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. Only on SportsGrid.
I needed a mental break when the season was over. Because it's a lot. It's a lot. You get tired of training. But man, I never get tired of playing golf. I love it. I mean, every course is different. Every day is different. And like some days you're like, oh, I got this. I got it. Then you go out there and shoot a 95 the next day. I'm like, damn.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in-game live game day here on the grid on a fabulous football Friday. Scott Wetzel, Gabriel Morency, talking with our good buddy Cam Stewart, who's we always chat with every Wednesday and Friday here on the grid. So, all right, so let's talk a little NFL here, Cam. A bunch of backup quarterbacks. I don't like these weeks. I really don't. Who knows what you're going to get out of some of these guys? You know, they're lucky to be in uniforms where it's Marcus Mariota or Carson Wentz. You know, who knows? So, what do you like on Sunday?
Actually, yeah, I like a lot of dogs, Scott. So basically, I love teams that are in situations where, you know, they got to kind of get things done. One being the Denver Broncos. And I haven't been impressed with Denver at the start of the year. You know, they didn't cover against Tennessee in their first game. And then we saw what happened at Indianapolis. But now I get it. The Chargers are a great team. Herbert's playing better. The team's playing good. But this is a divisional game, and these guys are getting points right now. Denver's let us down, and it's hard to come back to a team that has really, really pissed you off. And they did piss me off last week big time. But I like them in this spot against the Chargers. I think they win the game. We're getting 3 points, so I'm on the Denver Broncos there. Listen, I know I've taken the Tennessee Titans a lot, and Gabe will bust my balls when we do the podcast, and I'll tell you. But no, but here's this week. This is not why I'm in, Scott. Like
just going back to last year. Just going back, so they were 2-15 last year against the spread, worst spread record in the history of spread keeping in the modern era.
Yep.
So they're 1-1. They covered by half a point this year. But to put in context, they're now 3-16 against the spread their last 19 football games. That's like a hell of a run they're on.
Yeah, hell of a crap run. But I don't know, Scott. Is this my opposite pick segment? They're at home getting 4.5. Okay. Against the Colts team, who's everybody's favorite right now in the National Football? Oh, the Indianapolis Colts. Look what they're doing. Are they that good now? Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay. I'm going to take that. I'm getting Tennessee. I know they're not a perfect team, but I'm getting 4.5 points with a home dog right here. Cam Ward is starting to figure it out. I think they can win the game, so I'm going to take 4.5 points. Is it a leap of faith? Yes, but I like them in this spot. Also, again, Scott, I know I like the Saints. I'm getting 7.5 against my Seattle. I know. Dude,
he's going to be calling you.
Maybe
he's going to be calling you. Want to double it down? Want to put it in again, Cam? Go ahead. Put it in again.
I don't know.
Sounds lots like, Scott, are you subscribing to Sean Hicks' handicapping service?
Yeah.
Oh, see, I come on the show. And I got beaten up here. But we'll see. We'll see.
Every worst team on the board.
Listen to this, Cam. Indianapolis taking on your Titans, right?
Trends. I don't care.
First team in the NFL to ever not punt in their first 2 games. Tennessee's got the most penalties in the NFL this year. Their quarterback's been sacked the most times in the NFL this year. They have the worst record in the NFL of last 2 seasons against the spread, 11-31-2, and you want to keep on betting them. Now you want to bet the New Orleans Saints. They got a quarterback who's not won a football game at 8 stars, and he's only covered one of them.
Yes,
so
I do. And I actually, know what, Scott? I'll bet you Tennessee. You want to put your money where your mouth is? Yeah,
he's a Seahawks fan, so he knows the team.
This guy, I'll tell you. I come on this show, I'm just sitting here trying to mind my own business, watch a CFL game, and I'm getting lambasted. But anyway, we'll see what happens after Sunday. I know I've taken crazy picks, but so far, Scott, we're not doing so bad with these picks. The Saints one, I'm getting a little bit worried. Seattle, Gabe brought up a good point on our show. Are they due to blow somebody out at home? Yes. But do they? No. This is the thing. They're an East Coast team now. They win on the East Coast. They beat Pittsburgh on the East Coast. They were 7-1 away from Seattle in this spot. Have the Saints been competitive? Yes. They hung with Arizona. They hung with the Niners. I get it. It's Mac Jones and everybody. But now you're asking these guys to win by 8. See, Scott, your segment's called Opposite Picks. Mine are called Opposite, Insane Picks. That's what that should be for my segment, because you're taking a couple teams. And you guys are just coming at me hard with these trends. Don't care. I'm taking these teams. College football, I'll take Auburn. I think Auburn. I think they're going to cover this game. I think they can win outright. Gabe and I will discuss the whole college board tomorrow. And I'm on another team that, has really let everybody down in the Florida Gators. I'm getting 7.5. Miami's hot. I don't like what happened with the turnovers, but their defense is phenomenal. I think they can hang in this game and maybe lose a close one. CFL, Saturday night, Edmonton Elks against Babano's Hamilton Tiger Cats. Those are my 6 dogs, dirty pooches of the weekend. Yeah, you want to call it dirty pooch weekend, dogs with rabies, whatever the hell they got, Scott, the dog catcher. Hey, maybe I can go 4-2, 5. That would be nice. We'll see what happens with these dogs, but it's ugly.
I think Florida's in big trouble tomorrow against Miami. I think Miami, I was just thinking right now as you were giving Florida, I like Miami for the record, but I'm like, Gundy's going to get fired, but Napier could get fired. I was just sort of thinking, wow, that bet's really going to come down to what press conference is first.
Gundy.
Like, seriously. Like, you know what I mean? And listen, unless Florida might be able to pull something out of their hat. The only thing is, hopefully Miami are tuning out all the outside noise, because there's a lot of hype about Miami this week, and they're the best team in the country and they're unstoppable, and College Game Day is going there, but I think the Florida Gators, this could be the end of the line for Billy Napier here. I don't think Miami are going to let up on them.
Yeah. Look at their schedule. Their schedule is brutal, right? They
got
this
Texas
is the first
next week.
Oh, I know.
And then they got Texas A&M on the road the week after. I mean, you're
easy.
looking at a 1-4 start, right? So
no, definitely. Hey, Miami's the talk of the town. Have they been fantastic? Amazing. Florida's been in their games. It's just a question of possessing the ball and not having stupid turnovers. Lagway threw 5 picks, and they were in that game and lost by 10 to a very good LSU team. I think they can hang. That's all I'm saying.
They're 4-17, just for the record. The Florida Gators are 4-17 their last 21 road games.
Oof, not very good. But all you got to do is cover the spread, 7 or less. I'm not saying they're going to win the game. Just cover the damn number. That's all I care about, is covering the number. So we'll see what happens, guys. So Scott, I don't know, who's your favorite NFL play this week?
Chargers. I don't know why they're only 2.5 at home against the Denver Broncos.
Against Denver? Okay.
Yeah. And I had Denver last week too. I was all over Denver.
I love Denver. I'm going back to Denver. Yeah. We'll see what happens. Hey, Chargers are a great football team. I'm not going to take anything away from them. Divisional game, getting points. I got 3. I'll take Denver. That's who I like. But anyway, we'll see what happens.
Look, good luck for your place. That's why there's 2 sides to every coin, right? Thanks, yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
There are right now 10 teams who are 0-2. Every team on this list is 0-2. These are the 7 teams through 2 weeks who have already been eliminated from the Super Bowl picture. First, the Cleveland Browns, who I believe were the worst team coming into this season. The Cleveland Browns are absolutely done.
Game time decisions. Only on SportsGrid.
Josh Heupel. I mean, please, dude, you got to be kidding me. How do you lose this game at home when you've got Georgia on the ropes with a iffy quarterback at best there in Gunnard, and you somehow figure out a way to lose that game? A game, Donnie, of which was pretty much in hand for Notre Dame, 3/4 of it.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid. It's the most beautiful time of the year. No, not because of foliage or pumpkin spice lattes. It's because of football. SportsGrid has you covered all season long, covering every snap, every score, and every line move. Prepare, watch, win. Weekends are for winners. news. Only on SportsGrid.
I needed a mental break when the season was over. Like, because it's a lot. It's a lot. You get tired of training. But, man, I never get tired of playing golf. I love it. I mean, every course is different. Every day is different. And like, some days you're like, oh, I got this. I got it. Then you go out there and shoot a 95 the next day. I'm like, damn.
The Smiley Show. Only on SportsGrid.
All right, welcome back in Game Live. Game Day here on the grid. Scott and Gabe closing up shop. Gabe will be back tomorrow with Cam, but from 12 to 3. Then it'll be me and Joe Ranieri from 3 to 6. So thanks to Cam for joining us there. Couple plays here before we let you go. FanDuel offers up a couple of goofy Clayton Kershaw props. None of them are actually great as far as the odds, but I'm just going to throw it out there. They do offer a no-hitter through 5 at 55 to 1.
Oh.
He threw 3
Pretty
hit
good
ball
odds.
over 7. Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, it's something goofy. The Dodger team, whether it's Ohtani or Betts, so someone's always doing something like on their bobblehead night. So it would be just like them. The Giants are a light hitting team on the road. So I'll take a 55 to 1 shot that he throws no hit ball through. Not a perfect,
I like it.
It can be a couple walks and stuff. Just as no hitter. So 55 to 1. Why not? I'm expecting something goofy out of Kershaw tonight.
I'll see if I can get in on that. I don't know if I have that option. Yeah. I like to record a win. You know what I mean? If I like them to win,
well, that's not bad.
Kershaw,
FanDuel doesn't offer that.
So they don't have to record the win prop, huh?
No. I've looked. I've seen it many times at other sites, but FanDuel, for whatever reason, doesn't offer that. So they give you really good odds on that. It's a good way when you're who wants to lay -2 and change on some of these games. Yeah, they really lower the odds quite a bit.
Like, like if you want to take Robbie Ray just to play devil's advocate, if you're like, you know what, I want to be the jerk tonight and, go against, here we go. Robbie Ray to record the win, plus 280.
Yeah, I was going to say
Kershaw's Kershaw's plus 200 right now. All right, so I'm going to get this in here. Kershaw to record the win. Yes, sir, plus 200. Other pitching prop, hits allowed, over under 4.5 for both of them. Earned runs, pitcher outs, walks allowed, and that's all I got as options for me.
Yeah. FanDuel's got like goofy stuff. Nothing 3 up, 3 down first inning, but it's even money. Who wants to do that? 9 up, 9 down first 3 innings, plus 7 to 1. That's actually not that bad. No hits through the first 3 innings. Although it's got to be perfect. No walks allowed that one. That's not too bad.
What about the total tonight in this game, the Dodger game?
8.5.
It's pretty high at 9, man. I see it 9 right now, Scott. For Kershaw and Robbie Ray, I'm going under.
Yeah, I would say under, right? This is one of those games where we talked about it, right? Where the Dodgers just poo-poo in the regular season. But this is one where they want to win.
It's going to have a playoff atmosphere tonight. And every pitch is going to be like silence and pictures and, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's going to be one of those deals.
Everybody's in the lineup. They're going to use all the big-time closers, and there's no holding back with this game. So
I checked the ticket
prices. This will be like a Dodger playoff game.
$165 is the cheapest ticket.
Wow, the cheapest.
Which for a baseball game, for a stadium that holds 50,000 is pretty expensive. Like, you know what I mean? Like for a regular season, it's like essentially if you want to get in tonight to the game, it's going to cost you $150 or so to sit in the worst seat, like up in the upper deck.
Yeah, I mean, is it worth it? He's probably going to pitch again at Dodger Stadium. He's just not going to start.
The problem is, Scott, every Dodger game is sold out to begin with, so they're all already a hot ticket. So now it's just on top of it, right? You know what I mean?
On top of that.
But he's beloved, man. And you know what's crazy? Kopitar announced his retirement, and like nobody got lost in the Kershaw stuff.
In the shuffle, right?
Kershaw is one of the most beloved Dodgers of all time, Scott. Like point blank.
Yeah.
Like the Dodgers are a super popular organization, but thickly, you know what I mean? You're sort of on one hand, like who? Like if you think of the Dodgers, who do you think? Tommy Lasorda,
right?
Oral Hershiser, but Kershiser is more popular than Hershiser is even. Sandy Koufax, Clayton Kershaw, Jackie Robinson, bro. Kirk Gibson hit the home run, Scott, but he was a brief
Gibson.
Dodger. Like, he didn't play. Like, you know what I mean? He's only on the Dodgers for a couple of years. Like, he's a legend for hitting a home run, but he's not like a Dodger. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And, it's almost like he's also their Billy Buckner for the Red Sox, in that he was so good, but he was then so bad in the postseason, and people just piled on him. But then he got to overcome that and win a couple of World Series and be better in the postseason. But he kind of had that lovable loser. Like, we love him because he's good, and then now we love him because we really feel sorry for him, and then they love him again.
Well, you know what, Kershaw? Yeah, you know what? We'll talk about it in the future down the road, actually, because his playoff record comes up. But you know what his record is? It's 13-13, right? So, okay, it's not dominant. I'll go over some of the other ones because I come prepared for this, Scott, as a Kershaw guy. We'll go, all right, what's Randy Johnson's postseason record? What's Greg Maddox's postseason record? What's John Schmaltz's? Let's start going through some of the other pitchers. Newsflash, you're pitching against the other top aces in the playoffs. You're not going to win them all. Like, winning, it's not, it's rare that you're dominant in the playoffs. It just is what it is.
Yeah. All right, Gabe and Cam tomorrow at noon. Then me and Ranieri at 3 o'clock. Have yourselves a great Friday night, folks, and we'll talk to you tomorrow here on the Grid.
If you're in the Super Bowl market, if you're in the futures market, that's a big deal.
Yeah.